Hi, Wealth Builders. Welcome back to another episode of Sweet Millionaire Formula, the weekly show where we bring together individuals seeking to break the cycle of financial inequality by building generational wealth. I'm your host, Courtney Davis, two-time best-selling author and CEO of Sweet Millionaire Formula. For more information, please follow us on Instagram and to keep up with our webinars and in-person activities. This is going to be another exciting episode, but first, a word from our sponsors. Are you looking for your skin to glow this summer with a hydrating moisturizer that protects against UV rays? Well, Spa Weekend has the perfect item for you. Our new hydrating moisturizer gives you a hydrating skin moisturization that lasts all day. It's lightweight, non-greasy, and perfect for everyday use. When you get out the pool, you're going out to eat, you want to have that moisture and glow to your face, you will use our moisturizer at Spa Weekend Cosmetics. Guess what, Wealth Builders? Build Generational Wealth Period is released on Amazon. Sweet Millionaire Formula has produced its first book and its #1 best-selling. Build Generational Wealth is available now on Amazon. Tired of just hearing how to build wealth and want to know the actual steps? Well, we have the 12 steps to secure your financial future. It's available now on Amazon. Build Generational Wealth. Period. I am super excited to be back recording this episode this week, only because it's not to you're so dedicated to something. Like, I'm so dedicated. I'm so focused. I'm laser focused right now in my life. And I believe that God has the power to really infuse your spirit with the strength that it needs to continue to go on, because I think I was at a point, like, I had hit the ground running. I was like, I put all this money into my business, over $10,000 at this point now. And I was like, thinking to myself, like, when during the pandemic, when I had like $30,000, I had went to Florida like 9 times. I was doing everything under the sun, buying everything, going everywhere. I wasn't even thinking about investing into my dreams and stuff like that. So I thought that, honestly, my chance had passed to be able to invest in my dreams and stuff like that. So I just feel like it's very telling of God that He watches your every move. He wipes every tear. He sees your cries. He knows your mistakes, but He also knows your heart, and He loves us. Like, so for me to just be able to record my episode and get back on my grind, I'm super thankful right now, because He's gave me a vision of clarity of who I am and what it is that I'm going to accomplish in this earth. I am big on not returning back to God, to heaven, without having accomplished something in this earth. And one of the main reasons why I'm dedicated to liberating individuals and financial freedom and financial mindset shift is because, for me personally, growing up in the projects and being able to raise for 18 years in the hood, in the projects, in the slums, in the bare bottom type of environments, like, I'm talking about family arguing over who had the last Pepsi, who taking plates home, and things like that. And growing up, you think like, oh, they just do this every single time. It's normal, whatever the case. But now that I'm removed and I'm my own adult and I raised my own family, I've been exposed to my own things. It really was not healthy to be raised in a poverty mindset, in a poverty environment, of poverty individuals for that long, because I was like, we never talked about wealth. Every time somebody dies, we have to have a t-shirt, a cookout, a barbecue, and just growing up, you just think that that's normal, you know what I'm saying? And so even with my grandmother and her being cremated by the state and not having a proper funeral, even my little brother was murdered viciously and he wasn't, buried properly, and I had to just move on in my life and understand that God sees all and He knows all. And I believe that the reason why I'm so blessed to be able to produce this show without a team, without people coming in and not supporting, y'all support, but I'm talking about, some people need a 15-man team to do the things that I do every single week. And the fact that I record my podcast episodes, I write down and plan. I plan the to-do list, I plan the goals, the subject, the project description. All of this stuff is very serious to me. This is very how I reach my audience, how I convey my dedication to the community of individuals who are seeking to be financially free. But one of the main things about becoming financially free is basically planting your roots and growing your relationship with God. For me, it is very important to have a clear state of mind when I'm trying to complete my purpose. And sometimes you don't know the realization of your purpose until you look back in 20 years and be like, wow, I really, day by day, tear by tear, moment by moment, dollar for dollar, I really invested into my business for 20 years, and now I'm getting to reap the benefits of it. I'm getting to go on the trips to Italy and Amalfi Coast. I get to take my daughter across the world. She gets to study over in Brazil as a chef. Like, these are the things that I think about, and these are the things that I pray about. If y'all could understand, like, I'm not just a right now person. I have the capacity and wisdom and patience in my spirit to be able to dream 20 years from now, to be able to dream 5 years from now, and have to hold my tongue, hold my sense, and just pray and watch how things unfold. I just landed in my first partnership for my mobile salons and luxury apartment complex, and what I realized is some people are afraid to hear the word no, but before you even hear no, you don't start. And you're not going to get anywhere if you don't start. Like, the person who you want to be, or you know what? Let me say this too. Some people are content with not having nothing, and some people are content with the lives that they have already. So this podcast is for those who have a mindset shift, those people who want to build generational wealth, and those people who are willing to take the steps to invest into financial education, investing, real estate, learning and reading and absorbing the tools that we provide here at Sweet Millionaire Formula. Our entire goal is for you to be able to face financial freedom without being scared that you don't know the mumbo jumbo, that you don't know the fine print, that you don't know the face of what things look like, what they feel like, what the conversation should sound like when you're buying a house and you're talking to a real estate agent, what the conversation should sound like when you're speaking to a financial advisor, what the conversation should sound like when you're trying to pitch a deal, land a deal, and be able to feed your family with that deal, what it sounds like to land corporate partnerships and be able to have backings like financial certifications under your belt to be able to land a corporate contract. And what I've had the blessing and the perseverance to be able to do is to go see who's behind that window, go see who's behind that curtain, because it could be a Wizard of Oz, a big old head, but then when you go pull the curtain back, it's a puny little person, and you're like, oh, I was scared to do accomplish this. So I feel like I'm giving y'all so much energy, and I'm so much excited because I have single handedly pulled myself from. I will never work a 9 to 5 again. And you know how people work a 9 to 5 to have to accommodate for them not never going after their dreams or goals, but I don't have to accommodate for that. What I have to do is I have to take the 20 years that I would have spent working for this company or that company or this company, and you get wrapped up in those vines, you get wrapped up in that cycle because you don't know who you are. If you don't know who you are, you won't accomplish what you plan to accomplish. If you don't know who you are, you'll spend 30 years at a General Motors. If you don't know who you are, you'll spend your entire 20s and 30s just getting by to go by to get by to go by. And it's going to be a vicious cycle because by the time by the time you're 55, you're at the prime of your life. Now is the time for you to live. But what did you slay in your 30s? What did you slay in your 20s? Because what you slay in your 20s, you're going to eat in your 30s. What you slay in your 30s, you gonna eat in your 40s. If you going back and back and you looking at your basket or you're trying to see what your results are and you don't have anything to show for it, it's because you don't know who you are. So you're gonna spend time wasting money smoking drugs. You're gonna spend money wasting having kids. You're gonna spend time, your energy going to this school, that school, this school, that school. You're gonna spend your time um with friends and people who's never elevating. And I believe that one of the pillars of being able to grow is to change. On the other side of this life that you have now, there's a life that you can live and that you can see. But the only way that you're going to get there is through the Lord and our Savior's grace and mercy. God's guidance is even more important than common sense. Lean not unto your own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, for he will direct your paths. Like, God has already planned and predestined where we're supposed to be, how we're going to get there. But if we ignore the fact that he's God, if we ignore the fact that he has the power and strength to get us there, then we ignore a part of our lives that we really want. If you don't want anything, if you don't want to change, if you don't want to make the sacrifice, then this podcast is just not for you. And I just really want you to tune out now. But the person who is like, you know what, I have something inside of me and I'm trying to get to that, but I don't know where it is going to come from. How am I going to pay for it? What is God going to do to make sure it happens? Just as seriously as you're saying those things or thinking those things, you pray for those things. Once you pray for those things, you make changes and you move towards it in faith. You just believe. You believe. Just like when you walk outside, you believe that sidewalk is not going to crumble under your feet. You don't even second guess walking on the sidewalk because you know that concrete is not going to fail you. That's the same faith that you need to have in God. You need to just go on and walk and walk and walk as if it's already done. I walked down deals with Spa Weekend. And not only am I going to walk down a $100 million deal for Spa Weekend of investors investing into my company, but I'm telling y'all this, that if I didn't have the power or didn't have the belief in God, I would not be able to spend $10,000 and invest in products, advertising for my company and for my brand. Do you know when you get $10,000, you want to hold on to it, go on trips and stuff like that? For me, this time around, when I had that PPP money and I was getting all those thousands and thousands of dollars, all I did was went to Florida. Literally, after I spent all of that money, I had nothing to show for it. My rent wasn't even paid up for 6 months. I literally took that money and just splurged. I went to Florida. I bought trips. I spent money on clothes, eating out every day, just everything you could think of except investing into my business. And right now, the fact that I was able to use this business credit to invest $10,000 into my business, and now that I'm literally 5 months into my first time fully entrepreneuring. Does that make sense? I hope it makes sense. When I say full-time entrepreneuring is I left the 9 to 5. I had my Spa Weekend plans for the last 2 years already written. So now being in this new state where I am, as far as don't nobody know me here, I have everything in me to win. I have nothing but to win because I don't have no laggers or naggers on me about you can't do it or how you gonna get that done. No, when I wake up each and every day, I record my podcast episodes. I project and plan for what I want to see from my podcast. I project and plan for what I want to see happen in Spa Weekend. After I pray and read my word, I go out into this world and I bring whatever I had in my plans to my front door. And that's how I accomplish my dreams. I speak it into existence until it fall down from heaven. I speak it into existence until it fall into my lap. And one thing that separates the desire from the actions, desire and wanting something so bad and never going after it, it don't even mean nothing to want it. It don't even mean nothing. If you don't take the action steps for the desire that you have, the desire and the action steps go together. Desiring something and making it happen go together. So that's how you break chains. That's how you break yokes. But to be saying that you want something so bad and never putting forth the effort for it, that is a complete joke. And I am not here to waste anybody's time. I am here to literally tell you guys how to build wealth. What's the secrets? Get yourself a roadmap to success. Where is it that you want to go? What is it that you want to do? How is it that you want to do it? When you know what it is that you want and where it is that you're going and how it is that you're going to make that happen, the only thing that separates you is the test of time. The test of time. It's only a matter of time before what you ask for from this universe comes to you. Whether it takes 3 years, 3 months, 30 years. If it's yours, it's going to come to you. If it's your purpose, it's not going to feel like work. It's going to feel like you're becoming a better person. Challenge after challenge. No after no. Battle after battle. What I've learned is each and everything that I've had to experience in these last 5 months leading up to landing my first partnership with a luxury complex for Spa Weekend, everything I've had to experience in these last months has built me up to be able to enjoy building a company, building a brand. But Spa Weekend is not a company or brand until my daughter's daughter has this company. That's how I know that I build generational wealth. and my daughter can pass this down to her daughter as a CEO Spa Weekend. Then we're talking about generational wealth. Right now, I am literally building the foundation. I will take the next 10 to 15 years laying the groundwork, making the connections, building the friendships, being at the events. All of that goes into, that's the equity, that's the sweat equity of building a foundation for a company. I think that people think that you just get on Instagram, say you have a business, and buy some materials, and that's how you become successful. That is not the fucking truth. That is not true at all. That is not how you're going to become successful. You're going to become successful by the sweat equity, the blood, the prayers, the tears, the sacrifice, the money, the dedication, the plans, the commitment, the dedication, the desire, the resilience. Everything except what you do on Instagram is how you're going to be building a successful business, right? So building generational wealth and creating an outline for building wealth is very serious to me on this channel. And I'm super glad to be back with this episode, guys. I am not going to be all day today with this episode, only because I have other things to plan and work on. But I'm super excited to be back, guys. So what I want you to do is to like, follow, and subscribe. Also, we are literally about 40 follows away from becoming some monetization. And I bring this channel to you guys, one, because it's a part of my vision, but two, there's nothing wrong with another stream of income. And so if you guys follow and subscribe and leave comments, that only allows Spotify to continue to put our show into syndication on their platforms as well. Please, please, please like, follow, and subscribe to the podcast. It's literally right there. Hit follow, leave us a 5-star review, and you can go on about your day. I am excited, guys, and I will talk to y'all soon on the next episode. But until then, keep building that wealth.